take on the Wallabies in this pivotal game on the Grand Slam Tour.
Tempting fate, this kid has the potential to be another Nick Copperwell. What a great day for him.
Just to continue on the theme of the front row, we know how undercooked Hayes and Flannery are, but in some ways, although, well, without wanting to be disrespectful to the Australian front row, they aren't the test that maybe Ireland could face if they were going up against the South Africans undercooked. So maybe the chances are they mightn't be as exposed as they could be, Tony?
Although without doubt the Australian scrum is on the up. It's far more solid than it has been over the past number of years. But yeah, it's a huge ask of Flannery. You worry about an injury, you worry about Hayes with lack of match practice, Healy is inexperienced. It'll all be revealed very, very shortly.
Just a word on that man who's the new cap today, but also new caps on the bench for Ireland should they be called into action. Sean Cronin, the 23-year-old who's playing for Connacht at hooker. Shannon Mann, and he will win his first cap, as will Jonathan Sexton, of whom so much has been talked about as a real contender for the outside half position. And Ronan O'Gara will feel the heat on his neck today as both sides ready themselves for the anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand for the national anthems played for us by the combined Army No. 1 and Garda bands.
Good few Australians in the crowd, made their way over from the hub that is London for Australians, young Australians on their tours around Europe. They've made the trip and are here in their jerseys to support their side. A word for Ireland's two mascots today, Nathan O'Grady, the 9-year-old, and Ben McGuinness, 8 years of age. There they are. Proud day for them, one they'll never forget. emotion in the face of Ireland's new cap, Cian Healy. He's understating it to say it's an enormous day for him. Let's take a final check on the teams. Starting with Ireland, led of course by Brian O'Driscoll, made his debut back in 1999 against Australia, his 9th test against the Australians. Big day, as we've said, for Ronan O'Gara, and let's see what we'll see from Fitzgerald, Bowe and Carney, who were so potent last year. Paddy Wallace should be a playmaker in midfield for them. And as for Australia, well, it's a very young side. In the back line, Matt Giteau and Peter Hines are 27. Every other player 25 or younger. In the pack, youth also, David Pocock just 21. And the eldest player, 28-year-old Mark Chisholm in the second row. The side captained by a man, of course, respected in this country, Rocky Elsom.
Ireland against Australia.
And the match referee, Jonathan Kaplan of South Africa. Christophe Bourdos of France, Andrew Small of England run the touchlines. Jeff Warren, the Englishman, is the television match official. It's the first game in the Guinness Series, the November Internationals. Croke Park is full, as we knew it would be, and this the start of a new season, a new campaign, and the opportunity to build on what was a wonderful, wonderful season. But it was last season in terms of international rugby. As we move on, and Ireland with 3 tests ahead, Australia today, Fiji next week, and then the world champions come to town to round it all off at the end of the month. Ronan O'Gara gets us underway, and into the 22 it goes, and immediately a small mistake from the inexperienced Quade Cooper. Didn't quite catch that the way he would have wanted to, and it gives Ireland a line out halfway between the Australian 10-metre line and their 22. Cooper, just 21 years of age, making his 9th appearance. And no doubt O'Driscoll and Wallace will look to test him early, down from Paul O'Connell, but not particularly cleanly, and it was difficult for Tomás O'Leary to mop up. Ireland, well, it's always a statement of the obvious to say they'll want to do the basics well, but getting themselves back into international duty, trying to gel, they'll want to go through the first phases in the opening 20 minutes, control the game as best they can, but they've turned that one over. Jamie Heaslip went in, and it's Jania who lets it go to Matt Giteau, and now Cooper, and he kicks the ball long and straight downfield, and it's going to hold up, I think, before it goes over the dead ball line, and plenty of time for Rob Carney to touch it down, and it'll be a 22 drop out to Ireland.
Indeed, 3 mistakes in the first 20 seconds. First of all, O'Gara's kick-off wasn't particularly good. Then Cooper slicing it to touch, and even the tap down from O'Connell failing to find O'Leary. Natural nerves, I guess.
Crowd lifting their voice. A little bit subdued at the moment, nothing like the crackling atmosphere that we had in Croke Park last night. Hopefully the players will give Ireland something to cheer about. Up goes Luke Fitzgerald, a variation on that 22 dropout, and it sort of came off in terms of the ball went into touch off an Australian last, so Ireland will have to put into the line out.
Yeah, Lukey on the end of it there. Looking at them in the lineup, I'll tell you this, Luke is wearing red boots and Jamie Heaslip yellow. You'd want to produce a performance when you go out in footwear like that, I'll tell you.
Flannery for Donegal O'Callaghan, that's better, down for Tomás O'Leary and Ronan O'Gara, and Wallace is skipped, and O'Driscoll knocks it forward, and an opportunity immediately for Australia. Drew Mitchell's going to score. Ireland forced it. Australia capitalised, and Croke Park, for the majority, is in stunned silence. The pass just wasn't good enough. Good line-out ball, but the pass from O'Gara asked too much of O'Driscoll, and Mitchell gobbled it up and in for his 18th try in the colours of Australia, and a horrible start for Ireland.
Yeah, but the key to it there, and there you see it in the tackle, Digby Ione. He read it so well. O'Driscoll was looking to get on the outside, on the drift to create space. Ione caught him man and ball, as you'll see again here. It was a lovely feed from O'Callaghan there. Look at the timing of the tackle there, and that is a giveaway for sure.
2.5 minutes on the clock when that one was run in, and I don't think any of us were expecting that. And an opportunity for Matt Giteau to add to his 536 international points with this conversion attempt, which he does. And after 3 minutes and 22 seconds, Ireland find themselves 7 down. Australia by 7 points to 0.
Now what he's trying to do, O'Gara, is trying to put O'Driscoll outside his opposite number, but he reads it so well. The pass, it has to be said, wasn't the most accurate either. He was trying to put it into space to get O'Driscoll to run onto it on the arc, but it came up short.
Ireland trying to test out those young and inexperienced centres, and they stood up first time. Here's Quade Cooper.
Don't go!
And that one will be meat and drink to Rob Kearney. Kearney chases and does well, knocks it back on the Irish side, but Australia loitering and had plenty there. The referee, well, was it somebody off their feet? I'm not sure, Tony.
Oh, I missed it, I have to say, and I didn't hear what the referee said, but we'll take it. I mean, the point there is that there's so much kicking in the modern game, and the purpose of kicking has to be to regain possession again, and here we see Kearney putting it high enough to win the ball back. Well, unless his interpretation there is offside, but
they were
I can't see
back.
how.
Yeah. No one seemed to go in off their feet, no one seemed to go in off their offside. And it was knocked back by Kearney, but we've seen often that loitering, if you're heading back in the general direction,
from general play, it's generally allowed go.
Early opportunity for Ireland to cut this lead. Good kick from O'Gara. A soft three in many ways from the Australians, but Ireland will take that. 5 minutes gone, it's Ireland 3 of 7.
Important individually for O'Gara and collectively for the team, having conceded that soft score, to come back so quickly. We'll take it.
And Giteau is the man to restart. Heaslip and Wallace, both of them called for, took it and did well to evade the first tackle and set up the ruck for Tomás O'Leary under a little bit of pressure, but gets the kick away. And nothing that Adam Ashley Cooper, the Australian fullback, can do. Ireland up quickly to cut off any opportunity that Australia might have thought was there to launch a quick line out. Stephen Moore, the Australian hooker, wins his 44th international cap.
Stay in the back.
Go to the front. Australia attempt to get a maul going, but nothing there in Genia. Sends for Giteau and watched all the way by Luke Fitzgerald. Good work from the pack, but the ball, well, it just appeared on the Australian side. Referee had blown the whistle before the ball came out, so the scrum will be to Ireland. They had the forward momentum. Cian Healy, you can see, driving hard at the legs of Rocky Elsom.
I don't want this angle.
But Fitzgerald does very, very well here. And once you defuse the bomb and the ball fails to emerge, you will get the put in. That law has not changed over the last number of years.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Kick. At the back 5. Yes.
Free kick
5.
given to Australia, and John Hayes, the man who was penalised. And they'll take the scrum, the Australians. Big John Hayes, 95th international cap, 36 years of age now. 7th time he's faced the Australians.
Last man. Crouch.
And Will Gania, the
Touch.
21-year-old scrum half, will feed this Australian scrum. Good, solid scrum at the feet of Wycliffe Pallow, and it's now with Quade Cooper, who plays at out half. He feeds Hines.
Roll away, Green.
Gania again, back in the pocket was Giteau, but it's blocked down by Cian Healy, and back goes Adam Ashley Cooper, and Ireland come pouring through. They'll look for the penalty. but it's there before the penalty is given, and it's Paddy Wallace who looks to go down the blind side. Where's the ball? Referee said knocked forward by an Irish hand, and it'll be a scrum to Australia, but Ireland, well, that was better. Hunting in packs, got to Giteau, who in truth never really got this one off the ground. Well done, Cian Healy, that'll settle his nerves.
Quicker, please.
But the ball turned over inside the Australian half.
Yeah, tremendous work there by Healy on the block down, and interesting, there were 4 other Irish forwards in support to the breakdown. The last scrum very, very solid, and the first scrum of the match for Australia, and interestingly attacking the Wallace channel straight away.
Referee
Time again.
blasts what sounded like a little sick whistle for a moment, but he wants to reset that scrum.
Let's go, Bix!
And here's Jerry Flannery screaming out the instructions of fixing that scrum.
Crouch. Touch, pause, go!
Better scrum from Ireland, putting a little bit of a squeeze on Australia.
Time again.
The referee
1 green on his knee.
says he'll have that again.
But that a better scrum.
Crouch. Touch, pause, go!
Guinea, Wycliffe Pallow though, hit by Jamie Heaslip, now with Guinea and Cooper. Again standing in the out half position, across comes Tommy Bowe and he feeds Rod Carney. Carney thought about the counter-attack, kicks cross field. Again, Quade Cooper waiting there, and Guinea makes the clearing kick. All gone a little static and a little quiet. Scored that one try in EA against England last week. You can hear the call. So quiet is it in Croke Park. The crowd really need to get involved for Ireland, you would think. Here's Paddy Wallace. He'll try and spark something. O'Driscoll in to clear out. Ireland hold on to the ball well. Here's Jerry Flannery back for Paul O'Connell. And now it's Ferris, and he tried to offload to Luke Fitzgerald, but held on the ground. Was held in the tackle.
Can't get to your feet.
And you can't get back on your feet when you're held in the tackle, and the penalty goes to Australia.
I have to say, I did think there was a crossover just before that, but Fitzgerald does very well to come in and offer himself on a short ball. Had he got it, had Ferris read it, he was on his way.
Yeah, just in.
There's Stephen Ferris, 14th cap this afternoon. Of course, had that knee ligament problem with the Lions when he was going so well, and for most he would have been a Lions test starter.
I think what surprised everybody on that tour of South Africa was his mobility, his speed. He is remarkably quick for such a big man.
Shortened line out for Australia, and they claim, and it's there for Guinea. And Pocock standing in the out half position. He then fed Giteau, and he ran into a cul-de-sac. Guinea again has options both ways. One of them is Stephen Moore, the Australian hooker.
Leave it now, let it come!
There for the scrum half again, slower ball. Ben Alexander, prop forward, 25 years of age. He's the latest ball carrier, but
Right there.
Ireland's defence well set, and again they go into the pocket, and Matt Giteau, who kicks over the head of Luke Fitzgerald. And where's this one going? All inch perfect, although there's a suggestion from Luke that it wasn't inch perfect. Referee and touch judge have a little word. Giteau, well, he's
Step, please.
maybe a reluctant out half according to some.
Step, please.
He is a class act no matter what position he plays in. Australia not making the line as they were asked.
Gaps.
The gap wasn't there, and Ireland get the free kick, and Ronan O'Gara has a little word outside to see what's required. This is kicked in on the full. It'll be put into the line out for Australia. Remember, not a full penalty.
That is a sweet contact by O'Gara, taking play up to the halfway line, right on the meat. I agree with your assessment of Carter. He certainly is, or of Giteau. He certainly is next to Carter.
Quade Cooper back inside for Peter Hines, and he makes a good target for the Australian loose forwards. They hit his Guinea and Cooper, and on the charge is Chisholm, and he does well, and Australia are settling to the task. Wycliffe Palu hit by O'Gara. Eventually Ferris puts him to ground. Guinea again. Ireland offside, advantage being played to Australia, and they've just increased the tempo ever so slightly, and they are dragging Ireland one way and then the other. O'Driscoll, well, he was offside.
No argument there. That's a silly penalty to concede. Just going back to that last shot there, I think what Luke Fitzgerald was questioning was the fact that the ball hit the corner flag, and of course the corner flag is no longer out of play. So the touch judge and referee called it right, but that is soft penalty again for Ireland to concede.
In many ways this isn't unexpected. Remember Australia, well, here's what we were talking about, the Giteau kick.
I think the problem for everybody is that the laws change year by year. We're all questioning what is the current law, what was it last time, this time last year. But as I understand it, the touch flag is no longer out of play. So the officials called it right.
Not unexpected for Australia to look the more cohesive outfit, I suppose, in these opening 20 minutes or so. Remember, they've played a test against New Zealand a fortnight ago in Tokyo, and England last week. This Ireland's first outing. Boot of Giteau delivers the penalty, but it's wide, and it's a let off from the extremely reliable, usually, Matt Giteau. And at last the Croke Park crowd have found their voice, because for the opening 15 minutes it's been like playing in front of a couple of 100 rather than 70,000+. O'Gara downfield, long. Wycliffe Palu and Quade Cooper, seen a lot of him kicking in this opening quarter. Rob Kearney calls the mark, then takes it quickly to himself.
Wait, you're 5, don't move,
Jonathan Kaplan warning Paul O'Connell not to move until Kearney got up to him. Australia plenty of time to decide where the kick should go. Tomas O'Leary fields Ronan O'Gara. And play brought into the Australian half. Good kick again from O'Gara.
That is sensible play by Ireland. There are times, there's a wonderful kick by O'Gara, well fielded by O'Leary, but again getting maximum length from it.
You wonder how shook Ireland's backline will have been after that early setback, and the plan maybe to test that Australian three quarters. And now I suppose safety first. You don't often see teams playing so close to their own line, and we've seen what happens if it goes wrong, as O'Gara goes on a crash ball that he knocks forward. Giteau kicks it, the referee says advantage over, so Kearney and Fitzgerald with 4 Australians in front of Luke Fitzgerald. He needed to get away, and he just about did, for he was isolated. Good work there from Cian Healy. He saw that Fitzgerald was struggling, cleared out well. O'Gara and Kearney. Quade Cooper again, particularly well positioned. Ashley Cooper, Tomas O'Leary, Luke Fitzgerald, a little bit of room out there. Tommy Bowe, O'Driscoll, terrific hands. Paddy Wallace there, and Ireland now getting there in numbers. Better play, Paul O'Connell leaves it, and now it's Cian Healy, and that pass was played without looking, but it's still alive for Ireland, and Wallace feeds Heaslip, and at last Ireland get a bit of momentum. Ball protected well. O'Callaghan pops it up for Tomas O'Leary. O'Gara, Healy bounces off the first tackle, presents the ball again. Best passage of play by Ireland by a long shot. O'Driscoll back inside for Paddy Wallace. No runner on his shoulder, had to go to ground. And the referee says Ireland held on the ground, and the penalty goes to Australia.
And again, I don't think there can be any complaint. The crowd are booing, but he was isolated. And as long as the referee is consistent, and I know he will be, Jonathan Kaplan, and here we see it. Look, one green shirt. Look at all the gold shirts. He's holding on to the ball. Invariably, inevitably, the penalty is given.
Well, the referee called it very quickly. We've seen referees throughout the international and indeed Heineken Cup and Magners League. It depends on the referee, but as Tony says, once they're consistent, the players then know what they're dealing with for the rest of the match. Problem there for Ireland that no one was coming back on the angle for Paddy Wallace. None of the back row had managed to get to him, so the link broke down.
It was the right call by O'Driscoll to invite Wallace back inside, but the support wasn't on his inside, as you said.
Step now. Right now.
Concern for Digby Ione in the centre. The 24-year-old Queensland man is taking a heavy knock. I think it was for an attempted tackle on Cian Healy. It doesn't look absolutely right as Ireland rob Australian ball. Tomas O'Leary, Ronan O'Gara, David Wallace gets those legs pumping but runs into two or three. Eventually a bit of forward momentum. It's there for Tomas O'Leary and Ronan O'Gara. Ryan O'Driscoll, pass out to Luke Fitzgerald. That's more confident and more competent from Ireland. Back goes Ione. Ireland there in numbers. Where's the ball? Australia think they have it. It comes off an Irish boot back onto the Australian side. As Paddy Wallace went looking for it, it came off his boot and it's there for Digby Ione. And it's back for his centre partner, Quade Cooper. Suggestions that Donncha O'Callaghan was impeded as he tried to get through and block down Quade Cooper's kick. But that much better from Ireland.
Oh yeah, much more encouraging by Ireland. Wonderful miss out pass by O'Driscoll, and this chip, wonderful skill, and he's checked there. Ashley Cooper knows exactly what he's doing. No complaint. You know, in fairness, anyone looking for a penalty there, I think he did what any fullback would have done. But a lovely kick and attack up the left by Luke Fitzgerald.
George Smith into the game, the very experienced George Smith, to win his 108th international cap. I think it's Pocock that's gone.
That's once.
Ireland have it with Flannery, and the maul sorts itself out, then goes to ground. Flannery peels away, looks for support. Tomas O'Leary all a little bit lateral. David Wallace straightens it up, presents the ball. Australia slow it down, and the penalty comes Ireland's way. And it's taken 20 minutes or so when they had that early setback, but the confidence you can see beginning to seep through, which is a very experienced group of players. They won't have panicked. They know what's required, and they've gone about their task since that early setback, and things improve by the minute.
Yeah, that too is encouraging. The first meaningful maul in the game. Ireland patient, taking it on, and then using Wallace, doing what he does best, getting over the gain line, driving those legs and setting up the penalty opportunity for now for O'Gara. And by any stretch of the imagination, this is a gimme.
Well, if you were with us on Friday night in Toulouse, you would have seen Morgan Parra miss one of these. It can happen, it shouldn't happen. And O'Gara, a far more experienced and able goal kicker, and the substitute French scrum half, that he does what you would expect him to do, straight between the posts. 22 minutes almost gone. Ireland have been back to within a point. Ireland 6, Australia 7.
Well, Australia the better side over the course of the opening quarter, but Ireland within a point. That's the crucial thing.
Penalty for Ireland, scored by Ronan O'Gara. Ireland 6, Australia 7.
Giteau hangs it high, but it's gone quite far, and Jamie Heaslip has plenty of time, and he picks out Ronan O'Gara, who steps away from the on-rushing Quade Cooper, who spotted maybe for just a moment there was a possibility of an interception. It's back now though with Rob Kearney.
Okay, you're on.
And it bounces kindly for him and into touch just short of the halfway line.
Yeah, because he didn't catch that particularly well. The bounce went with him. Sometimes when he hits these well, they go forever. There he got the bounce.
Rob Kearney, Damien Try, the French fullback, another with a huge boot, and it's such an advantage for fullbacks.
Again, stay in the line.
Ireland warned. Referee telling them to mind that gap. Already penalised Australia for closing it. Back on the Irish side again. O'Gara and Ferris and Wallace. Paddy, that is. O'Driscoll flings it out. Here's Tommy Bowe. Brings it back inside. He had no momentum and needed the help of his colleagues. Here's Ronan O'Gara again. Better handling from Ireland now. Jerry Flannery hit by Ben Alexander.
Roll.
Good tackle from the prop that set up the mark. And Ireland in from the side, says the referee. And the penalty given away.
Ruck, standing in an offside position.
And offside against Ireland.
And some excellent counter-rucking by Australia there. Ireland taking the ball into the breakdown. Australia there in numbers, low body position, driving over it as we see. And then coming in from the side, Tomás O'Leary giving away the penalty.
Is the halfback near the scrum again? Good. Okay.
Australian Player of the Year 2009, Matt Giteau. Third test against Ireland. 76th international for Australia, just 27 years of age. Missed the last one. Normal service resumed for Giteau and Australia, and the gap is now 4 after 25 minutes. Ireland 6, Australia 10.
He's not only one of the most exciting players in world rugby, he's also one of the most complete. I mean, bear in mind he can play 9, 10, 12, 15.
O'Gara sets it up for O'Callaghan and co to chase, and it almost came off. I think it was Tommy Bowe who got there, and Elsom comes away with it, and Rocky Elsom chased by his former Leinster colleague Brian O'Driscoll, who just got to him with a tap tackle, and Rob Kearney completed the job, but Elsom away. And here's Quade Cooper, and he kicks in behind the Irish three-quarter line. Luke Fitzgerald chases back. That's a lovely kick from Quade Cooper, and Australia have answered Ireland's infusion of pace and power with some of their own. That one could have gone one way or the other. Tommy Bowe just spilled it, and it opened up play, and Rocky Elsom capitalised. He has terrific pace as well, and O'Driscoll just about got back to him. Flannery for Paul O'Connell. Good line-out work from Ireland in a defensive position. It needed to be absolutely spot on, and it was. All the elements there. John Hayes protects. Tomás O'Leary swiveled maybe a little bit too much, more than he meant to, and only gets play out as far as the Irish 22.
Oh, that's a disappointing clearance by O'Leary. He knows he should have got more out of it. Line out on the 22. Stephen Moore to throw. Great opportunity this now for the Wallabies.
Towards the tail, and it's there for Genia. And that look forward, I have to say, from Giteau to Digby Ione, but the referee and touch judge is happy to let it go. Genia again to Stephen Moore, who takes a little bit of putting down. Ferris, the man who eventually did so. Giteau again, good flat pass for Ben Alexander, who's the target. Seen a good bit of him in the loose. Here's Quade Cooper, who's beginning to pull the strings a bit. Digby Ione, his other centre partner, but that was telegraphed, and Ireland's defence read it. Australia hold on to possession. Giteau, Horwell, then Giteau once more, and Giteau the little dummy, and maybe he's going to get there. Matt Giteau, despairing tackle from Rob Kearney, but a good one, and Ireland did extremely well. Kearney in particular to get back. And there's been an incident after the ball with Wycliffe Pallow, I think, throwing it away. Or was it Ferris? Let's hear what the referee has to say.
There's nothing much in this. Just stop playing and untip him over, and then you won't get that result. Okay, just leave it to me.
Suggestion that Stephen Ferris played on a little bit after the whistle against Wycliffe Pallow. The referee happy to let it go and gives the original penalty to Ireland for Australia holding onto the ball when they got themselves within 3 metres.
And there you have the consistency I referred from the match official. Once players get that, that's where they maintain respect.
Smith has gone back to the Australian bench, and Ronan O'Gara has taken that quickly, kept the ball in hand, then O'Driscoll kicks it away, and it's back with Quade Cooper. Ireland had the opportunity to kick that penalty to touch and claim the line out, didn't do so, and it's now down in Australian territory, but it'll be there put into the line out. You can see what O'Gara was doing, just trying to see if the Australian defence was aware. They were, and O'Driscoll was forced to kick it away. This another terrific kick by Rob Kearney.
I'll tell you, that's a hell of a wallop by Kearney. He may have had a missed contact on the far side of the field, but that time he got it spot on.
Gaps not there. Referee had warned Ireland, had penalised Australia, and now they penalise, or now he penalises Ireland, and it was a free kick, and the Australians have decided
There's no excuse.
they're going to have a scrum.
The first priority is to maintain the line of offside. Let's go. That's your mark.
Jonathan Kaplan clear with Paul O'Connell, attack leader and Lions captain, but there's no excuse for not doing what he's asked. That line out time.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Go. Hold there, half.
Guinea, Cooper.
Wait there. Don't go.
Rob Kearney. Kearney runs into a massive tackle from Wycliffe Palu, and he holds on the ground.
Did he use his arms? That's why you got the reaction you have from the crowd.
Well, it should be a yellow card if that's the referee's judgment.
If it's his interpretation, absolutely.
No arms.
Clearly dangerous, no arms. He reaches for the pocket, and Wycliffe Palu will spend 10 minutes in the sin bin. And Rob Kearney will hopefully be okay, because that was a monstrous hit. Not surprisingly, the crowd react, and Rob Kearney hobbles back. Here you'll see it.
Let's play on, please.
Oh, I don't know. Like, in fairness to him, it looked to me as if he was trying to use his arms.
I wouldn't mind seeing that again. Again, it's easier for us when you've conceded a couple of times, but this may be the angle. The arms may not have gone around, but the intention was there to do it. The referee will feel that it was high and unnecessary as well. And Rob Kearney still looks very shaken out there. There's always a judgment call at this point. We've seen players left on who are quite clearly concussed, and there's a duty of care, even if the player feels he's okay, to continue. And I suppose the coaching staff will monitor him for the next minute or two, but that was a huge hit on Rob Kearney. Interested to see what the boys say in studio about that at half-time. Flannery, now the Irish line-out misfires, but it may still pay off for them, as Paddy Wallace is the quickest to react. Australia, though, again, are penalised at the breakdown.
In that position, lead him first and then go back in.
Penalty to Ireland, and a chance for O'Gara again to reduce the gap, but he doesn't take it. He kicks crossfield. Tommy Bowe had called for it. Here's Tommy Bowe. Oh, just didn't go to hand. And Ireland, well, you always wonder, should they have taken the 3 points? If it had come off, we would have been saying brilliant play. It doesn't. The ball is turned over, and you wonder, was that the smartest play? But they're playing it as they see it.
Well, it's bold, but I'm a conservative there. When you get your kicking opportunity, you take your points. It would have brought Ireland to within one.
It was Giteau who was backpedaling and just put Tommy Bowe off enough. Not a well-controlled scrum. Number one penalised, Cian Healy. And the penalty is to Australia, and they'll feel like they've got off the hook. Remember, down to 14 players. It'll be half-time, I think, before they're restored to 15.
Come down. Stay out half.
Moore down for Guinea, but he's wrapped up by Donegal O'Callaghan and Tomás O'Leary.
8!
Horwell does the clear out job, and possession with Australia. Here's Quade Cooper. Bow right on that far touchline, fires the pass to Rob Kearney. This will be a good indication of where he's at. After that hit, Kearney follows up his own kick, and this one could go anywhere. It looked like it was knocked forward from an Australian hand. The referee says an Irish hand first, and the put in to the scrum will be to Australia. We lost it as it went behind the bodies. Well, the referee clearly indicating it was an Australian, or an Irish hand I should say, that knocked it on first. Kearney looks okay.
Yeah, we give the referee the benefit there. He was close to the action because it was difficult to see Kearney's hand hitting the ball.
Just do a proper bind there, please, not a crutch bind. Right. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Go. Same again.
Noticeable this afternoon that by comparison to France and South Africa on Friday night, the physicality at the breakdown, the desire to knock players backwards isn't quite the same. It's just not at that level of intensity.
Crouch.
Not suggesting that it's
Touch. Pause.
any place for those that are easily perturbed, but there are degrees. Here's Giteau. There's Kearney, again well positioned.
Right here.
Cooper calls, Guinea leaves. Plenty of time for Tommy Bowe, who calls the mark and fires the ball across field to Ronan O'Gara. Rocky Elsom went looking for the Munster and Ireland out half. O'Gara dispatches it downfield to the try scorer Drew Mitchell. Well fielded Tomás O'Leary. O'Connell and Flannery at the back of that ruck. O'Connell looks like he's going to play scrum half. He does. Here's Ronan O'Gara to Rob Kearney.
Right here.
Again the boot used, and this time kicked over the head, and the back three for Australia just gets to the line, and Guinea touches down. 22 drop out Ireland. About 5 minutes to try and put some points on the board, with Australia down to 14.
Another bout of the now mandatory aimless kicking, which is unfortunately part and parcel of the modern game.
Let's go. Let's go.
David Wallace back inside the Irish 22. Thought about the pass to Ronan O'Gara. Plenty of room in front of him with which to run, and Wallace chooses that option. Tomás O'Leary, little bit of room down this narrow side for Ronan O'Gara and Paddy Wallace and Luke Fitzgerald. Good hands from Wallace in particular. Fitzgerald sets it up. Ireland slower to the breakdown maybe than they should have been, but the referee penalises Australia, and Ireland, well, from here surely it's a kick at goal, or will it be down the line? Because O'Connell and O'Gara, as you watch the replay, have had a little conference. And Ronan O'Gara is going to go down the line.
And that is the right call. With Australia down by a player, a difficult kick, a long way out.
Yours. White line's yours.
Probably didn't get as much out of it as he'd have liked to, Ronan O'Gara. It's just as far as the Australian 22. Flannery for Paul O'Connell at the tail, and it's just about back on the Irish side, knocked forward off an Australian hand, so it's advantage to Ireland. Wallace kicks and drives. Advantage over, says the referee. So whatever Ireland can get out of this is as much as the referee will allow. Donncha O'Callaghan in to protect the ball. John Hayes offered himself. O'Callaghan thought better of a pop pass. Stephen Ferris ekes out another couple of yards. John Hayes and Flannery there. Hayes protects Flannery. Will be the next to carry with O'Callaghan. And then O'Connell offloaded to hit hard. Ireland there though to secure possession. Scrum Ireland. They kept it tight. They held on to possession, went through the phases. And they have the prize of a scrum as the clock ticks towards half-time. Can they manage some more points before the break?
Well, you feel they've got to come away with something before the interval. Having given up 3 easy points, 5 minutes ago. And now with just a couple of minutes to half-time, Australia down a player. They'll be back to the full 15 on the restart. Ireland need a return now.
Start that in. Crouch. Touch. Pause.
Good solid scrum from Ireland. Jamie Heaslip for Tomas O'Leary. All sorts of movement as O'Leary went on an arcing run and holds on the ground again.
On his feet, all right.
Said that David Pocock was on his feet and entitled to hold on or to go for the ball, compete for the ball. And Tomas O'Leary wasn't entitled to hold on for as long as he did. He is not allowing much. Once you hit the ground, you've got to let it go. As Heaslip fed Tomas O'Leary. There was Pocock in, body position excellent. Got there in numbers, but a tenth of a second too late.
Yeah, but that is the key point. It was Pocock's body position. As we see with O'Driscoll so often in the middle of the field, and indeed Darcy when he's out there competing for the ball at the breakdown. And there Pocock quite superb.
Stephen Moore. Paul O'Connell reaches high into the sky and claims the ball for Ireland. Jerry Flannery hit extremely hard again. It was Pocock, I think, who made the tackle.
Green entry.
Green entry in from the side again. Here's Flannery. It was indeed Pocock. Completed the sandwich where Flannery was the filling.
Indeed, a bit of a double whammy, but Pocock is certainly making his mark. No question.
Just 21 years of age. And that penalty gets every last inch out of it, and it gives Australia the platform with what will probably be the last play of the first half to increase their lead. And back into the game just before half-time. To a chorus of boos comes Wycliffe Baloo. And Australia have held Ireland to nothing while they've been down to 14. Moore finds Horwell, and Australia go to their maul. Ireland set the defensive body positions. It's Moore at the back of that maul. We're now in added time. This will be the last passage of play as Ghanea feeds Quade Cooper, and back inside comes Pocock, who's becoming more and more influential on this game. Ghanea, Cooper again, but he just took his eye off it for a moment, and a chance for Ireland to break as Ferris goes. Advantage over. Referee has been consistent in that as well. It came out on the Irish side, and Stephen Moore dived and secured possession, and Quade Cooper's done it again. He's knocked it forward. Well, he's mixed the good with the bad in this first half as Quade Cooper. But Australia will go in at half-time with the lead. This one, well, it hasn't been inspiring from either side, but it is on a knife edge, and it's there for the taking.
Of this pivotal game in Australia's Grand Slam bid. Let's go to the commentators.
Lee Ward.
Thank you very much. 40 minutes gone, the first 40 of international rugby for this team in quite some time. And we'll see as this second half progresses if they can get themselves into the pace and the tempo and the required duties that have come in fits and starts in that first half. Jamie Heaslip gathers the Australia.
Let it come, let it come. Hold it.
Still a very quiet Croke Park. Can't remember being here for an international match that just has no atmosphere in relative terms, and Ireland, the players that is, are going to have to raise their game without the help of the assembled masses, it would seem.
Also compared to last night when it was massive, the atmosphere.
Get him over.
Now Australia, as the panel were pointing out, have struggled at that line-out time, and Ireland will want to continue that. They put them under pressure, but Jania and Quade Cooper, and now Wycliffe Pallo and Australia try to punch a few holes again and drag in the Irish defenders. Here's Quade Cooper, who looked back inside, but nothing on offer, and Ireland's defence is sound, but Australia hold on to the ball. Jania, though, the pass came off an Australian and it diverted it off its route, and it forced Australia to go back slightly, but they've regathered possession. Good tackle from David Wallace on Ben Alexander. Inia again to Cooper. Rob Kearney has plenty of time. Australian slow to come up, and Kearney fires out to the pass to Luke Fitzgerald, who's got Peter Hines in front of him, and Kearney goes on the loop. Rob Kearney tried to go outside his man, who is Mitchell. Ireland struggling to get there to protect the ball, but they do just that, and Ferris is away. Better ball handling from Ireland. Tomas O'Leary, little kick in behind the Australians, but he didn't execute it well, out on the full, and Australia will get the put into the line out on the Irish 10-metre line.
Encouraging at least to see Kearney and Fitzgerald giving it a go, prepared to run from deep.
Time. Yep.
This was Rob Kearney. Pass out to Fitzgerald. In front of him he had Peter Hines, and Kearney came around quickly, but Drew Mitchell has got plenty of pace, and he just left Kearney go out on the outside. The Australians, though, noticeably there in numbers when the ball went to ground.
And specifically 7 and 8 and 6 indeed. That was Elsom there as well. Elsom, Pocock, Palou, they're everywhere.
Moore goes to the front. Guinea doesn't find his man, who was Giteau. Quade Cooper did well to take static ball and get forward momentum. He's Moore again, looked for the little offload. Chisholm just didn't get there in time. Better play again. Here's Pocock, who's been probably the standout man for Australia in the opening 40 minutes, despite the fact that he spent a number of minutes in the changing room receiving attention. And Ireland are penalised once more at the breakdown, and it's
then go back in.
3 more points on offer for Matt Giteau and Australia, and not the start to this second half that Ireland would have wanted. Here's Pocock. He slipped, made the tackle. And the referee, I think, suggesting that Jamie Heaslip wasn't on his feet, but the evidence that the crowd have just seen as well would suggest that he was.
That would my read as well. Heaslip had the right position over the ball. He was wrestling for it. Although Australia worked hard for this penalty opportunity now.
What? Good. I think it's good. I'm happy with it.
Rocky Elsom just having a quiet word with the referee about the breakdown as Giteau lines this one up. That one is off to the right and wide, and unusually for Matt Giteau, he's left 6 points behind him in this game so far.
And both in the same position. In the first half, same position, far side of the field, left footer, left side, pulled across the face of the goal.
O'Gara chooses to go long. Wycliffe Palou, who spent 10 minutes, of course, in the sin bin in the first half, retrieves, and it's Adam Ashley Cooper's kick that's sort of cross-field. Tommy Bowe, well, he did well to keep it in initially by leaving the ball there and spinning out. Who it came off last, an Irish player, says the touch judge, and it'll be a put into the line out for Stephen Moore in Australia.
It did too. Donnick O'Callaghan, you'll see here, his foot comes in and just off his left foot.
Inia for Giteau, and Digby Ione tackled by Paddy Wallace. Better pace the forwards at that breakdown again from Australia. Ireland tempting to turn it over. Guinea, kick over the top. Luke Fitzgerald was halfway back, as that was pretty telegraphed by the scrum half. And Fitzgerald downfield, and this one is now with Quade Cooper. Cian Healy first to arrive. Good tackle, well watched by the prop forward. Donnacha O'Callaghan was there also, but Ireland can't turn the ball over. It's there for Giteau once more. Pops up for Tomas O'Leary, who did really well to deliver the ball for Carney as he was stumbling. Adam Ashley Cooper goes back and watches the ball over his line. It'll be a 22 drop out to Australia. He'll just hold his position until one of the Irish players comes up and forces him to touch it down. It's Rob Carney who does just that. So much a Croke Park roar as a Croke Park murmur around the stadium. O'Gara, one for Luke Fitzgerald, who's looked lively to chase, but watched well by Guinea. Giteau, Cooper, back inside Paul O'Connell, back inside Donnacha O'Callaghan. The third attempt to do so, he's put down by Ronan O'Gara. Was that knocked forward by an Australian hand first? Referee. Well, he looks to his touch judge and he's trying to confirm, was it an Australian or an Irish knock on? He's going to let the game continue. Giteau tries to split the Irish defence. O'Driscoll was in there to try and rob the ball, but Australia got there in numbers. Cian Healy told to get back. It's with Quade Cooper, and it's all very sterile to be honest. There's not an awful lot of imagination or ingenuity out there. The more and more international rugby, and indeed Heineken Cup rugby we watch, the more you wonder what the powers that be are going to do about the rules, because at times it can be quite sterile and at times players go beyond. And Adam Ashley Cooper had the opportunity to break the line and inject a bit of excitement. Australia secure possession, but it's slower ball. Robinson uses his strength and aggression to add a couple more meters. Guinea has to go wide, nothing on this narrow side. Better tackling from Ireland in midfield. Guinea hit by O'Gara and Ferris. Australia holding on to possession well, probing Ireland's defence. Here goes Wycliffe Baloo. Tommy Bowe had to make the tackle. Adam Ashley Cooper was there, but so too was Cian Healy.
I mean, Healy's work rate is phenomenal around the pitch, but it is at the breakdown. That is where Australia are so much more efficient in terms of recycling ball when they've got it, and in terms of competing for opposition ball when they haven't.
A couple of injuries for the medical staff to have a little look at. Cian Healy on the Irish side.
Andrew,
I think it's Will Guinea on the
in that kind of situation,
Australian side.
I didn't see it, so you've got to keep calling it because I don't actually know.
Referee having a word with his touch judge Andrew Small to say you need to be clearer with information you're delivering.
In fairness to the referee, when he hears a call knock on, he's got to know by which side. In defence of the referee there.
Just 22 years of age, and yes, there are younger players on the park today, particularly you think of Cooper and Pocock of Australia, but in the front row with the lessons that have to be learned, today's a higher education for Cian Healy.
And it is the only way, as the lad said, that he is going to learn. But he has certainly put himself around in the loose, no question.
Crouch. Touch, pause, go. Same again.
Right piggybacks, boys. Right. Right piggybacks.
It's slightly too far.
He'll be happy
Okay,
with his Australian team
Touch. Pause.
thus far.
Number one, hold.
They are in the ascendancy, both on the scoreboard and in lots of facets of play. And Ireland's scrum just collapses. Oh, and the referee
Not square and steady.
has let them off the hook there, awarding, is it a free or a penalty to Ireland?
Not square and steady.
Not square and steady, he says to prop forward Ben Robinson, but that looked like a very harsh call against the Australians. Penalty is what it is, and Carney dispatches to touch.
Australia starting the second half as they did in Twickenham a week ago, ominously controlling position and possession.
Hold there, please.
Indeed, it wasn't a full penalty because the throw-in is to the Australians, and Jamie Heaslip tries to get up and disrupt, but the line out better from Australia as Drew Mitchell, that second-minute try scorer, goes on the crash ball, and Quig Cooper dinks it in behind the Irish three-quarter line. Rob Carney got himself across there very sharply. The kick is blocked down by Will Guinea without actually knocking it forward, and Cooper again. Young man, he's made some mistakes, but he's hungry for as much ball as he can get, and he's trying to launch attack after attack for Australia. Here's Guinea again. Cian Healy caught him in possession. Here's Wycliffe Baloo, who saw a little gap, but John Hayes just about shut the door, and there was a knock forward there from Australia, and Ireland will get the put into the scrum.
But they are just that bit sharper individually. They're there in numbers. There's a cohesion lacking on the Ireland side. In fairness to the Croke Park crowd, they're trying to lift Ireland. So far it's Australia in the ascendancy.
All 7 Australian substitutes warming up in front of Hill 16. No sign of any action from the Irish bench at the moment. John Hayes, well, it's not the first time he's required
No, because it was moving
some
already. So he
dabbing of blood from his ear.
You're talking about that one there? Yeah. So it was moving around. So.
Little lull in the game. Conor O'Shea, your thoughts?
Well, it's just they're dominating the breakdown, they're dominating the contact area, their line breaks. You think of Adam Ashley Cooper, you think of Rocky Elsom and Matt Gitto in the first half. We're on the verge, we are hanging on. It's a lot of guts to hang on, but the Australians are so far on top, and you look and you feel that at some stage the Irish dam is going to burst because it's just too many tackles to continually make it. Looking at from behind the posts here, where we're looking at, there are gaps being up, forwards being caught out in positions, and our scrum is under pressure. We are absolute backs to the wall.
Yeah, I agree with all of that, and we've had so many mismatches in the first 10-11 minutes of this half of Australian backs running against Irish forwards. We're hanging in there at the moment. As well as that, we're talking about how quiet the crowd are. I can only think of one break, the little one that Luke Fitzgerald made up the left with a little dink over the top when Ireland actually threatened. So far it's been all Australia.
Crouch.
They haven't had much of a platform with which to release the backs. And again an Irish scrum retreats, and Jamie Heaslip, it's like going fishing with your hands in water, trying to hold on to that ball, and Australia have turned it over, and here's Gitto and Cooper, and he looks to go back inside, and Ireland get there defensively. Guinea to Horwill. Again Ireland make the tackles, and maybe Paul O'Connell has turned this over. He has. Heaslip can see it. O'Driscoll, also Ireland, with a player over on that far side. Luke Fitzgerald down on the ground.
No advantage.
No advantage coming, so knock on against Australia, and Luke Fitzgerald in all sorts of trouble.
Well, that last scrum, that was scary. Ireland going back at a rate of knots.
Keith Earls is being readied for Ireland. Tracksuit off.
All it has to be is this far apart. How can he do it? Off you go.
Referee dismisses O'Connell and Moore. But that was straight, and it was a mighty effort from Australia against Ireland's scrum. Saw same sort of thing from France against the South Africans on Friday night also, and when it works it really does put a team in retreat, and it's very difficult to recover.
Well, certainly for 8 and 9 for Jamie Heaslip and Tomas O'Leary, that's nightmare stuff. They have no chance.
Let's see what happened to Fitzgerald.
I think it's left ankle.
It looked innocuous enough, but it's the right ankle, I think. And he just fell awkwardly. He's back on his feet, but not in any condition to continue. That will be a worry for Ireland as we head into further internationals against Fiji and more particularly against South Africa. But an able replacement in Keith Earls, on to win his 3rd cap. Remember this time last year, bursting onto the scene against Canada. I think it was his first touch, he scored a try.
Crouch. Touch, pause, go.
Indeed, I think it was his left knee there, just looking at him on the sideline.
Another penalty. And another opportunity for Giteau, and he's left some of these behind him, but this one is far more straightforward than the 2 he's missed, and this will extend the lead out to 7 once more. And it's hard to see where Ireland are going to find any answers.
At the moment, it's a case of the Wallabies just turning the screw.
That's better from the Australian out half. And Ireland, well, they have to score next. Simple as that.
Yeah, you feel if Australia get the next one, they could cut loose. I'm not even sure 13-6 is not a reflection on the balance of play so far. Ireland hanging in there, still just a score behind. Next one vital.
Here's Cian Healy onto the loose ball, and on Healy goes, and on he goes once more. Inspirational stuff from the new cap, and O'Gara and Wallace, and at last some forward momentum for Ireland. Referee screams at Australia to let it come. It's slow ball. Ferris sets his sights on the Australian defence. Keith Earls in to help clean out O'Leary. O'Driscoll, the captain, goes in search. Nothing giving from the Australian defence. All coming from the break of Cian Healy, and Paul O'Connell crashes into Cooper, and Ireland hold on to possession, and Flannery goes in to make sure they continue to do so. Tommy Bowe from behind that ruck. No real options. Ireland will now surely keep it tight for a phase or two. O'Connell to Ferris. Ferris uses his considerable bulk. O'Connell there to help. Flannery too. They're going to try and maul it over. About 2 metres short. Ferris presents. Cian Healy started it and looks to finish it, but can't. Elsom in underneath the Irish prop. Paul O'Connell has his hands on the ball. It's there for Tomas O'Leary. Now Ireland fire it out. Tommy Bowe gets it down, and the referee will go to the television match official, but Bowe points at it, and it looks like Ireland are there. Well, all the experience on the field. Take a bow in the loose. Cian Healy.
Amazing game, isn't it? Healy has been extraordinary, he really has. He sparked all that. Ferris central to it, David Wallace, and I've no doubt that this ball has been grounded by Tommy Bowe.
Well, that angle, difficult to tell. This
It should show.
should show it. It's Cooper who gets there, tries to take man on ball.
Try.
There's downward pressure there and control. And surely Jeff Warren will put the message through to Jonathan Kaplan. And it will mean that Ireland are very much back in this game.
You may award the try.
We may award the try. the words that Ireland and their supporters wanted to hear, and Tommy Bowe gets his 11th try, his last one, remember, in the Millennium Stadium. O'Gara with the conversion attempt, and all of a sudden, with just about 20 minutes or a little more than that to go, we're all tied up at Croke Park, and what was a bit of a damp squib has suddenly come to life.
Well, maybe we've got a game at last. Thanks to Healy on that restart. He did so well to stay on his feet, his low centre of gravity.
And scored by Tommy Bowe.
Heaslip watches and claims, and Ireland will want to try and build on that now, get a little bit of momentum going, make some breaks. Carney kick downfield. Australia's try score kicks ahead. O'Gara, that's out on the full. O'Gara cleverly putting his foot out of touch to make sure he caught the ball on the ground, out of touch, and therefore it goes all the way back from where the kick was taken.
Superb timing by O'Gara. There you see his right foot in touch, was exactly what he's doing, as you said. Ball out of play. Suddenly a little bit of momentum going the other way.
Flannery's throw down from Heaslip for O'Leary and O'Gara and Wallace, and all sorts of movement in midfield. Tommy Bowe, lovely offload, lovely to Wallace, now to Carney. Earls back in the loop, did well to hold on. Keith Earls inside. Ireland need to protect the ball, they have it. It's there for Ronan O'Gara. David Wallace down injured. Cian Healy will look to go on another rampaging run, and he's bounced off the first tackle. Great power, lovely little pop from Healy. O'Gara with not much outside him, tries to put it in behind the Australian cover, and he knocks it out on the full. But all of a sudden a bit of momentum and a bit of ingenuity from Ireland.
At last, attacking with purpose down the left hand side. And Healy again central to it. Wonderful offload in the middle of this. He's been forced across field. Look at that, wonderful offload to O'Gara.
Still an injured Irishman on the far side, and we will play on without him as Donncha O'Callaghan goes up to try and spoil Australian ball. And it's Rocky Elsom who plays the captain's role. And he can't get the ball away because Hayes was too close.
Backwards.
Bowe knocks it backwards, has plenty of time. And Carney will have a little look what's in front of him. A line of gold shirts. That not the best kick. Keith Earls and Carney both go up. And Guinea, well, Paul O'Connell had to make that tackle because there was a gap behind him. Mitchell into a collision with two or three Irish defenders. Pocock. O'Gara stepped up. The gap was there inside O'Callaghan. Pocock said thank you. And walls straight through it. That's the Irish 22. Guinea looked to offload. The big frame of John Hayes stopped him from doing so.
Let it come, Green!
Ireland warned to let it come by the referee. It's there for Ben Robinson. Runs into two Irish players, one of whom is Stephen Ferris. Pocock again as Heaslip tries to rob the ball. The Australians holding on, trying to again stamp their authority on this. They've had it for large proportions of the match.
Stay up.
Wallace seems to be restored, but Dennis Leamy is stripped off and ready to come into the game. Guinea, Giteau out wide. Keith Earls committed to the tackle. Had to be. Aoni dances around O'Driscoll. Hayes grabs hold and puts him to ground. Guinea, Giteau, phase after phase. 11 now for Australia, and maybe that ball handling will do enough as Rocky Elsom goes for the corner. And if that's a try, it is a wonderful try. And the referee is going to the television match official.
First question.
And Australia recycled, held on, drilled the holes, committed Ireland's defence, spread and wide, excellent handling, and Elsom thinks he's made it in the corner.
The interplay between backs and forwards, typical Australia. I think he's made it. Let's see. try.
That's a try. On that viewing, it's a try. O'Leary and Carney combined couldn't stop Elsom. He kept his hand from touching the line. And that is a try for Australia, and they're back in front again.
Yep.
A try.
It's a try, confirmed once more by Jeff Warren, the television match official. And it was an outstanding team effort from Australia.
Well, it was started by 7 and finished by 6. It was Pocock that made the original break up the middle of the field, and eventually Elsom finishing it in the corner. Wonderful team try.
This may well prove to be a crucial kick for Matt Giteau. 5-point game. He's tried to bring it around. He has brought it around. Terrific kick from the Australian out half. And it gives Australia the full 7. They lead it by 20 points to 13. George Hook, your thoughts?
Well, no team sport places greater effort on courage, character and commitment. 22-year-old prop reduced to wet Kleenex in the scrummage brings Ireland back. But courage, character and commitment isn't enough if you're not good enough.
Still time, though, for Ireland to prove that they are good enough. And I take your point that they've been outplayed in just about every area so far, but they're still thereabouts. Can they find the inspiration from somewhere to come back once more? Keith Earls again has a look to see, and Australia slow to come up, so Earls launches the kick, chases it, allows Guinea to come down. And tackle the man in the air, of course, as Quade Cooper plays scrum half, and Matt Giteau will look to control it and play Australia back into territory. It's another terrific kick from the out half. O'Gara allowed it to bounce. Angle very tight. Giteau places himself in the position to receive the kick, fires it out to Cooper. Ireland pretty slow coming up. Dennis Leamy in the match for Ireland now. Wallace gone, Carney and Earls allowed that to bounce between them, but no harm done. Not the best kick from Rob Carney, and after all that, Australia advantage once more. They'll have the line out halfway between the Irish 10-metre line and the 22.
And again, we're back to the stage where next score absolutely crucial. If Australia get it, you feel it's over, but that's certainly advantage to the Wallabies at the end of that ping pong.
David Wallace still receiving attention down on this near side. Not sure if he's out of the game permanently. It looks like he is, but we'll keep you posted on that over the next couple of minutes. Leamy in to win his 42nd cap. Crossfield kick for Drew Mitchell, watched by Carney. Mitchell overran it, and now maybe an opportunity. Carney tried to get it away to Tommy Bowe, and there was a knock forward. And those are sort of things, well, we saw it in the Millennium Stadium when the inches went Ireland's way, and the inches on this occasion didn't go Ireland's way. And Leamy
was a bit of your own support.
Is out of the game again.
I thought it was a bit of your own support.
And back comes Wallace.
In fairness to Bowe, it wasn't an easy pass to take by any means. Had Carney managed to put a little bit of air on it, and it stuck. He was on his way, Tommy Bowe.
Pelota now in the hooker position for Australia to win his 21st cap. Australian born of Tongan parents.
That's the reason why we have
wearing number 16.
Yeah, no, just cut them off there.
Let's go, breathe, also.
Yeah, Straight at him. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Go.
Palu. Guinea. Ireland make the tackles again, though. Australia protect possession. They've done that extremely well. Once or twice pinged for holding on to the ball, but in general, their management of the breakdown has been top-notch. Robinson takes for another couple of yards. O'Connell and O'Callaghan combine, and Healy mops it up. And O'Leary feeds Wallace, who came across and now tries to send Tommy Bowe free. Bowe hit by Drew Mitchell, looking to offload. Ferris there to secure possession.
Hold them, gold!
Wycliffe Pallow making an absolute nonsense of 3 against 1 scenario, but still Ireland held on to possession. David Wallace out in midfield. Plenty of pace there. O'Connell, O'Gara, lovely hands to offload to Keith Earls. Australia were offside, no advantage accruing. Penalty Ireland.
And for once, Ireland competing at the breakdown, managing to win the ball to turn it over. There's still hope.
David Pocock, his 14th international, he's been outstanding. O'Gara for field position and the platform of the Irish line-out. And the crowd rise at last. And Ireland march slowly up as a unit. The call already made.
Hold him, please. Hold him.
Flannery and O'Connell and O'Leary, final check. Up goes Paul O'Connell. Part 1 of the process. Ball secured, and Ireland go to the maul, and Flannery and Hayes' body position is spot on, and those in front of them drive it forward. O'Connell and O'Callaghan hold it at the front. The referee warns Ireland that's once. You've got to keep moving forward. Use it or lose it will be the call soon, but Ireland continue to move forward. It may be inches, but momentum is there. Now Tomás O'Leary looks to come away, but Giteau closed the door. Where's the ball? Possession held on to by Ireland. Donncha O'Callaghan off the base of that ruck. Paddy Wallace goes in to make sure possession is held on to. Paul O'Connell sets it back for Jamie Heaslip.
Number 3!
Wallace extricate themselves from the ruck. Cian Healy, just no momentum and no room to move, but he holds on to possession. Now maybe something. O'Gara, O'Driscoll, well monitored and well marshalled by Giteau. The ball is presented, but Australia there in numbers, and they just clear Ireland out, and Giteau, well, Ireland are going to rob it back. O'Driscoll did the damage. Flannery with the pass. Wallace to Carney to Tommy Bowe. Juggled with it, lost his momentum. And the referee called forward pass.
I missed that, I have to say. Does it mean when he juggled it forward?
Well, he said forward pass. Flannery spun it out to Wallace to Carney. That didn't look forward. There is where it was questionable, and the referee and touch judge in a better position than we are.
Yeah, we'll have to give him the benefit. He's in line. Certainly from this angle where we're sat, it didn't look that way.
But there, I suppose, in a nutshell, when Ireland were in position, they just got blown away at the breakdown. And yes, it came back on their side with O'Driscoll rescuing it from and wrestling it from Giteau, but
it's the cohesion at the breakdown and the physicality.
O'Connor in for Adam Ashley Cooper, eligible to play for New Zealand and South Africa, is James O'Connor, in to win his 12th cap. Chose to play for Australia and just 19 years of age. Paddy Wallace in the wars again. Just over 10 minutes for Ireland to find the key to unlock this Australian defence once more. Genia back for Cooper.
Wait!
Decent clearance. Tommy Bowe will get there, but nothing to be gained in taking it quickly. Irish line out. Malfunction. Complete malfunction from the Irish line out, and it's been the one source It's been steady throughout this game, and
Play
it
on
doesn't come off. Tommy Bowe knocks it backwards. That's okay. Here's Rob Kearney.
Out 5. Yes, go.
Great kick.
Yeah, but back to where we are, except this time it's an Australian ball. For some reason, total breakdown of communication.
Just looking at the possession statistics, Ireland only had 45% in the first half, but up to 54 in the second half. Here's Polotonau. Finds his man, who's Mark Chisholm. Guinea waits, and he puts in the box kick. Bowe comes up. Mitchell there also. That one, was it knocked forward? Referee says Irish ball, no knock on.
Step, please.
Good cross.
Flannery for Heaslip and O'Leary and Wallace and O'Gara. Lovely pass to Tommy Bowe. We were in line with it. It was right on. But again, Australia there at the breakdown. Ireland hold on to possession. Here's Paddy Wallace again. O'Connor across to make the tackle. Hines there also. And Ireland bundled into touch on that far side.
When Bowe came across from the right wing, who made the saving tackle? Again, it was that flanker Pocock. Watch him here in shot, sweeping across the field as any flanker should do. Eyes on Bowe, in it goes, around the ankles, snuffed out.
Ireland compete and Ireland win the Australian line-out. Paul O'Connell gets the momentum going for Ireland. O'Gara, little show and go, almost through. Ball needs to be controlled. Jamie Heaslip feigns one way, goes the other. Needs support, O'Connell offers it. Ball protected for Ireland. Ronan O'Gara. Ireland not coming at it at any great angles, but Wallace does well to get around Chisholm and get Ireland going. Here's O'Driscoll, very little outside him. Stephen Ferris standing still, has no choice but to go to ground, and Ireland look to build from there. And they're moving forward, so they'll get the put into the scrum.
Well, at least they're giving it a right good go. 10 out of 10 for courage.
Yeah, there have been periods of this game where they've just been hanging on, but they have dug deep, and it's 7.5 minutes remaining in the game. They're still within a converted try, and he'll know that. And they've spent a lot of the last 10-15 minutes in the Australian half.
That's what we discussed that beforehand, so there's a confusion.
Ireland set the scrum. It needs to be a good one. They've struggled for large parts of the game, but they've done well there, and Heaslip feeds O'Gara, and O'Gara to O'Driscoll, just couldn't offload. Brian O'Driscoll, and Australia come through, kick it ahead. O'Callaghan's going back, bouncing ball, did well to Donegal O'Callaghan. Jamie Heaslip also to get there, and Ireland get the penalty. Australia in off their feet.
That has happened so seldom in this game that any Australian player at the breakdown has actually gone to ground. Such has been their discipline.
And again, O'Gara has the opportunity to fire this down into the Australian 22. Plenty of time there, but a 7-point game means Ireland need 2 penalties, 3 penalties indeed, to take the lead. They go after the try and conversion potentially.
Let him come down, please. Let him come down. Leave his legs.
Australian line out warned not to take the man out in the air as Ireland's 8 approach this line out. Flannery for Paul O'Connell, ball secured for Ireland. And again, not surprisingly, they go to the maul and Cian Healy releases it to Jerry Flannery, and it's now with Jamie Heaslip at the back, and Wallace offers an option in the loose, standing at first receiver. Heaslip has a little look, warned by the referee to use it. Wallace now called into action. Heaslip there to back up his back row colleague Tomas O'Leary for Ronan O'Gara. Paddy Wallace hit hard but gets the pass away to Keith Earls. Earls, electric pace as he hit that line. Kitto held on. Ireland clear out. O'Leary, ball doesn't go to hand though. Callahan lifts it. Heaslip there. Healy on his shoulder, spinning it wide once more. Wallace, Heaslip, not used. Flannery, watched all the way by Hines. Watched all the way by Hines, and Jerry Flannery is hurt, but will come back. And Australia were offside, so it'll be a penalty to Ireland. It is all about courage and graft for Ireland in this last 15-20 minutes.
Keep it clean in the zone.
They hung on and they're still there.
They are giving it everything, absolutely everything.
We're playing on.
Dennis Leamy comes back into the game. It looks like Stephen Ferris, is it? Yeah, Ferris, who's limping away as Flannery carries a knock himself back to the Irish pack. Again, O'Gara for touch and the line out.
This is it. This is the moment.
Stephen Ferris is giving it everything.
But they all have to be fair.
Stay your side of him.
Flannery, O'Connell at the tail. Good line-out work from Ireland. Now they go to the ball. Australia scramble back and offer stout defence. Ireland crabbing across the pitch. O'Gara moves the point of attack with Tommy Bowe, but the forwards hold on, and now they straighten up, and Healy's leading from the front again with O'Callaghan.
Let it come!
Leamy. And now Tomas O'Leary, and that's a crossfield kick. And Earls is out there, and that one is dealt with by Hines, but it's knocked forward, and again the referee comes back for an Irish penalty.
Put the ball down.
Referee's going to have a word with Elsom.
Entry from number one. Next one for repeated infringements will bin.
That's twice he's penalised them in a similar position. Message clear, one more, and we will be playing out the rest of this game with 15 against 14. Ireland continue to knock on the door. Someone needs to find a key, and quickly.
Let him come down.
Flannery fires it to O'Connell. Australia again organise the defence against them all. And again, Ireland will have to be patient.
Let it come.
Australia, though, credit them, dealing with that particularly well. And now what from here? Inside the final 3 minutes, 2.5 left on the clock. Tomas O'Leary digs it out and goes for David Wallace. And Wallace looks to pick out a lighter back and drives the legs. It presents the ball for Tomas O'Leary and Ronan O'Gara, and Wallace is the decoy. And here's Tommy Bowe. Tommy Bowe almost through. Tommy Bowe is through. Did he ground it again? Again, we'll go to the television match official. But Wallace provided the decoy. The Australians momentarily
This is a try or no try?
were confused, and Bowe went straight through. Tackles came in. Did Tommy Bowe ground the ball for the second time in this second half?
Well, your gut instinct tells you he did. Here we'll see.
Yeah, no.
Through the centre combination. 3 Australians there. Impossible to see from that angle.
He's on his back, mind you.
Guinea again. The bodies won't let us see it.
Well, on those two, he can't. It can't be given. Let's see this.
We know he's over the line. 3 angles,
No.
no results.
No.
4 angles, no results.
Maybe this one.
Should be it. The low probability is that he did get it down by the look of his body language, but
no, can't be.
You can't give it from what we've seen.
JK?
Yep.
It's Jeff. It's inconclusive. Scrum 5 attacking.
Right decision.
Crowd don't like it, but if you're going to go on the evidence that was there, it's the right decision. Only Tommy Bowe probably truly knows. Still the opportunity.
Yeah, no,
Nelson McGuinea have a little chat. Again, the pressure comes on Ireland's scrum. No doubt Australia will give it everything. Front rows go down on that far side. It'll be reset.
Moving up.
Minute and a half. We're talking about the 7 points that will draw the game.
On the hit. Crouch. Touch. Pause.
O'Leary's feed again. Ireland's scrum comes up. Pressure, but they manage to get the ball away. And O'Driscoll! Brian O'Driscoll! The captain under the post. And that surely is 7 points secured. And a draw in Croke Park. The scrum came under pressure, but Heaslip and O'Leary did enough. And O'Driscoll and Cole caused mayhem for the Australian defence, and the gap opened and through the captain went.
I don't think it comes any sweeter than this. What a fabulous try, and they've worked so hard for it. Pre-rehearsed, open the gap, and in goes the captain.
Well, never give up is the motto of the day. And O'Gara will be so thankful that he has the opportunity straight in front of the post. He still has to do it, but he'll have taken this any day of the week. The Australians will chase out. This is likely to be the last action of the game. This for the draw. Flags go up and the referee says that is it. And it is a draw, and the crowd will go home happy. For long periods of that game, you didn't feel like Ireland had what it took, but they grafted and they did it, and they maintain an unbeaten record, and they will go into the test against Fiji, and particularly against South Africa, with blocks to build on, and that man there can take a lot of credit for what he did in the loose to inspire Ireland and to lift Ireland. And the man of the match, Tony.
Man of the match is David Pocock. Fantastic result for Ireland. I've never seen Richie McCaw when he was here the first time in New Zealand, and that's who this guy reminds me of. They've unearthed some talent in David Pocock, the number 7 for Australia.
Well, the Grand Slam dream is over, but a tremendous battle, and Ireland thoroughly deserving that great comeback with the enormous pressure they put on in the last 10 minutes. We'll come back to Croke Park to wrap it up after this.